Hola, welcome to week 11. Week 11 is going to prepare us for our final week, and our final week will be a project. We will not have an exam for this class. So it's very important that you complete this week, that you read the instructions, because if you do week 11, your final project will be super simple, easy for you to do. All right. So on Monday, just like every other week, all you're going to do is you're going to be turning in your work from week 10. So go ahead and do that. Okay, on block one, what you're going to do is you're going to take the time to watch this video, read the instructions, and start the project. Block two, you're going to do a little bit more on the project. And finally, on Friday, you'll finish the project or this part of the project. And you can turn it in, or you can wait till Monday to turn it in. It doesn't matter. Of course, this is just an outline, a suggested outline. You can do it all in one day. I just broke it up for you guys so you can manage your time, especially with other classes. Okay. All right. And also because I want quality, so please make sure that you don't leave it last minute and it's not something that you think you can do really quick. The questions do need to be they're very specific how you answer them. They need to be correct. So please make sure that you do take your time. Even if you don't spend 3 days, 3 different days, if you spend one day, it's going to be a big chunk of time. So please make sure that you do that. All right, so again, Monday, you just turn in your work. This is the work that you need to turn in. Okay, so here's the project. The project is called El incidente más cómico o vergonzoso que me ocurrió. Cómico sounds like comic or comical, and that's exactly what it means. It means funny. Another word for funny, like gracioso. So you could be very easily say el incidente más gracioso que me ocurrió. But you will use the words interchangeably. And then in parentheses, it's vergonzoso. Vergonzoso means embarrassing. Okay, so you are going to be thinking of the funniest incident that has occurred to you or the most embarrassing incident that has occurred to you. All right, so I picked this project because I wanted to end the year on a funny note or on a silly note. It has definitely been an interesting school year, so I didn't want to, have you guys talk about COVID or write about COVID. Like we all know it's going on, so this is going to be a little escape of just to end on a funny note. As I'm going to be grading these, and Miss Castillo will be grading these at the end of the year. It'll be a little breath of fresh air. Something fun for both of us. So something fun for you to share and something fun for us to read. All right, so here are some examples of some embarrassing moments. We've all had them, or just funny moments. So for example, this one says, singing in the shower, guess I was feeling extra patriotic with the national anthem. The neighbors saluted me for a week. So that's kind of embarrassing. So her neighbors heard her all week. And you can take the time to read any of these, but these are just examples. I put the examples in English just to spark your creativity, but of course you will be writing it in Spanish, okay? All right, so this is where you'll click on the video, so you obviously know that. Let's see what you need to do. So these are your daily tasks. You will think of one funny or embarrassing incident that happened to you in the past. Notice how I emphasize the past. Yes, you will be writing in the preterite, okay? So remember, the preterite is the past tense. It's a completed action. So it's something that already happened. So it's not something embarrassing that keeps happening to you, something that happened to you right now, or something that you think will happen in the future. It's definitely in the past. Every day you will answer questions in Spanish in complete sentences about that one incident. Okay, so just like I showed you the schedule earlier, every day you answer different questions. That doesn't mean you're going to be thinking of a new incident every day. It's the same incident, you're just answering different questions about it, okay? Be sure to read the directions to know what to highlight and underline. There are different things that you need to highlight as you go along to show me that you're doing, the specific Spanish task. So just make sure that, again, like I said, the reason why we have only a few questions a day is because they're very specific. You have to do very specific things to each. Next week, which is week 12, you will put it all together as an essay. So the essay that you put together will be your final, and there'll be some other parts to it, but just so you know, this is going to be part of your final. So don't put it aside. Don't decide not to do this week. Okay. If any week you decide not to do, week 11 is not the week. You will rewrite the essay and include an audio of you reading this. So you don't have to worry about these last 2 points right now. I just wanted to share that with you so you know where this is going. Okay, so if you don't do this week's, you won't be able to do your final. So please make sure you do that. All right, so this slide here is just a little review. So remember, for preterite, you just drop the endings. So if it's a regular verb and it's AR, you drop the AR and you add these different endings. Okay, remember in the yo form and in the tu form, there are accents. I'm sorry, no. In the yo form and the el, ella form, there are accents, okay? ER and IR, they share the same endings, so that makes it easy. Same thing in the yo form, there are accents, and the el, ella, usted form, there are accents, okay? There are irregular verbs. We went over these irregular verbs, the car, gar, and zar in past lessons. There are many other irregular verbs. And because this is a free write, you are going to come across other verbs that you might need to use that are not regular and are not car, gar, and zar verbs. So for example, we did learn the verb ir. So remember, ir means to go, and that's irregular that way. Other verbs that are irregular are dar, ver, to see. Okay, notice how this is how it's conjugated. So this here is just a reference in case you need to use any of these verbs. It tells you how to use it in the preterite, okay? Also, I included this link here. Okay, if you go here, you're going to click on it. It is a website, okay, and it says every Spanish verb conjugation. So let's say you want to use a verb, but you're not sure if it's regular or irregular, but you want to use it in your project. So let's pretend the verb ver, to see, okay? So you're going to type it in, you're going to hit enter, and then as you can see, it tells you to see, to watch. Okay, yes, that's the verb I want. And here, it tells you how to conjugate it. In the present, well, we're not talking about the present. We're talking about the past. So if you're going to say, I saw a movie, yo vi una película. Okay, notice how it doesn't have an accent, so it is irregular, and here are the other forms. Okay, so this is just a good tool to check your verbs and they're conjugated. Remember, everything is in the preterite right here. Okay, so you can do that with any verb using that site. All right, so these slides here are just additional vocabulary, okay? So here are some verbs you can use when you're talking about your story, about your embarrassing or funny moment. So ocurrir, to happen, reír, all of these are just different verbs that I thought that you might use. Here are some more verbs. And also I've linked vocabulary lists for that have a lot of verbs that you might use. So for example, if you link on here, you're going to get to this vocab. Remember this vocab from Spanish 1? Here are all these verbs. Okay, so I also included, these are all links. If you know you're going to talk about like a sport or to go play a sport, you can click here and it links you to that vocab list of all that. So go ahead and, of course, you take the verb, you drop the ending, and you conjugate it in the preterite. But here are just some additional resources. This slide is the same exact thing, but it's adjectives, so descriptive words. So here are some words that I thought might be appropriate for the project. So funny, embarrassing, surprise, these are all different ones. And then I also linked personality traits. So those are adjectives that describe a person's personality, and physical characteristics. So if your story has any of this, it links you to that vocab list to get those physical characteristics. And remember, when using adjectives, they do have to match in gender. So if you're talking about yourself and you're a male, they do have to end in O. If you're talking about yourself and you're a female, they do have to end in A. If it ends in a consonant, for example, a Z, like feliz, then you don't have to change it. If it ends in an E, like verde, you don't have to change it. But just remember when you use the adjectives. And the last slide here is nouns. So person, places, or things. So here are some places or things that I thought you might need. And then there, of course, we have a bunch of vocab lists with nouns in them. So if you need vocabulary about the house, about clothes, bedroom, family, I forgot how to say dad, so I'm going to click here, look it up. All of this vocab list can link you to different words, okay? And that's the resource. So these are all slides just to help you. So what you're actually going to do is you're going to go to Google Classroom and you're going to go to this assignment here, week 11 questions. Okay, Ms. Castillo's might not have, this is my assignment number. So Ms. Castillo's won't have the assignment number because her assignment number is different, but it'll definitely say week 11 questions, okay? All right, so you're going to click on there and it will take you to this Google Slides here. These are your questions that you're going to answer, okay? Notice how I do have some help here, but it tells you to go to the other slides for additional help if you need more vocab, okay? So let's go through every question. The first question is 2 parts, okay? ¿Cuándo te ocurrió un incidente cómico o vergonzoso? Okay, so first of all, think of your incident. Cuando means when, so you're going to have to tell me when this happened, okay? And then, ¿dónde estabas? Where were you? Okay, so notice how you're not telling me what happened, you're just telling me, for now, when and where. Okay, so here are some sentence frames to help you of when in the preterite. So hace blank meses or hace blank años means 2 months ago or blank months ago, blank years ago. And then here are some locations of where it could happen. So once you decide your answer, you're going to type it in here where it says type in your answer. Just a reminder, you do have to do in Spanish, of course, and in incomplete sentences. And it tells you to highlight your preterite verb. Please highlight your verb, okay? That way, when we grade it, we can look at to see if it was in the yo or el form, it needed the accent. Did you drop the right one? Did you add the right ones? Okay, so remember, you have this here to help you and this site here to help you, okay? What you can't do is you cannot write it in English and put it into Google Translate. Okay, Google Translate doesn't know you're trying to do it in the preterite, so it's going to put it in another tense, and at the end of the day, you're going to get a 0. So please make sure that no matter what you do not put it on Google Translate. Okay, all right, so let's go back. So you're going to type in your answer. So here you are. This is an example that I wrote here. El año pasado me ocurrió un incidente muy cómico en la escuela. Okay, I started with the time frame. Ocurrir is the verb. It's an IR verb. I dropped the IR and I added IO with an accent because it happened to me. And it said it happened in school. So that would be your sentence you would type in here. As you notice, I answered when, I answered where. I'm done with number 1A and 1B. Okay? Question 2, ¿qué ocurrió específicamente? Explica 3 frases mínimo. ¿Qué ocurrió específicamente? Específicamente is a cognate. It means specifically. And ¿qué means what? So what specifically occurred? Explain with 3 sentences, okay? Minimum. Now, it depends on the situation. You might need more than 3 sentences, but just make sure that you answer them. And at least 3 sentences, 3 different sentences. So here is mine. Mine was a few more sentences, okay? Again, you're going to have to highlight the preterite verbs. I put the regular endings here to help you, but remember, again, you can go to this for all the irregulars and go to that site. You type in your answer here, you highlight the verbs, and you're done with number 2, okay? Number 3 has 3 parts. ¿Por qué fue una situación cómica o vergonzosa? ¿Por qué means why? Okay, so why was it funny or embarrassing? 3B is ¿cuál fue tu reacción? ¿Cuál means what? So what was your reaction? And 3, ¿cuál fue la reacción de otras personas? Okay, what were other people's reactions? So mostly these things are embarrassing because they happen in front of other people or at least one other person. So you're going to answer those 3. Here are some possible verbs that can help you that happens usually in these situations. I put them here. But again, go to see vocabulary verbs slide for more reactions. So if you go back here, verbs right here. So here's a bunch of other verbs, and then again, links to other verbs that you can use for this sentence. You're going to write your sentence. It's going to be at least 3 sentences because it asks 3 different questions. Here are my examples. Notice how you have to highlight the preterite verb. Obviously, you type in your answer here. Question 4, ¿cómo te sentías después del incidente? How did you feel after the incident? Okay, this is where your adjectives come in. So here I put some adjectives that might have to do with the situation. Again, see vocabulary adjective slide for more descriptions. So you go back here. Adjective slide is here. Okay, so here are some more adjectives, and then you can click here for more. This one is going to take you a little while to complete because it says, be sure adjectives match your gender. Just as I said earlier, if you're a boy, it has to end in an O. If you're a girl, it ends in an A. And if it ends in a consonant or an E, it can stay the same. Okay, so for example, yo me sentí muy perezosa, avergonzada y torpe. Perezosa, I'm a girl, so I highlighted it pink. Avergonzada, I highlighted it pink, and torpe ends with an E, so I don't have to change it. I highlighted it green. So the legend is right here. You're going to type out your answer. You're going to highlight. Sorry, I didn't mention it earlier. The way you highlight things on slides, if you're not sure, you just highlight whatever you want. So for example, if I want to highlight that S, and then I go up here, see this right here? It says highlight color, and then you pick the color. Okay, so let's say I want to highlight that green. There you go. Okay, that's how you highlight on this. So make sure you highlight those. And then you still highlight your verb in the preterite. And then lastly, we have question 5. Question 5 is, ¿pudiste reírte de ti mismo o misma y del incidente? Were you able to laugh at yourself and laugh at the incident? Okay, so answer in a complete sentence. The verb poder is an irregular verb in the preterite, so please make sure that you pay extra attention to it, again, either by using this slide here. Okay, poder should be on here, right here. See how it's different? Or using this and typing in the verb. Okay, so poder. Preterite, and it tells you how to use it. No, there's no accent, stem change. It's just irregular altogether. Okay, so you're going to highlight the verb in the preterite. You're going to type out your answer, however long it needs to be, at least one complete sentence, of course. Once you are done with all this, you are going to turn it in onto Google Classroom. You're going to turn it in here. Okay. And that's it for week 11. And please make sure that you take your time answering these sentences. I promise you, if you do that, then your final will be super, super easy. Adios.